Imagine sitting by a quiet river, watching the gentle ripples of water as the sun begins to set. The colors of the sky soften, and there's a stillness in the air, a deep sense of peace surrounding you. Your breath matches the rhythm of the water, slow and steady, and in this moment, you feel connected, not just to the world around you, but to something deeper within yourself. It's a moment of profound tranquility. But here's a thought: in our fast-paced, always connected society, we often fear solitude. We associate it with loneliness, with being forgotten, or with isolation. Solitude is something many of us try to avoid, especially as we grow older. Yet, what if this perspective is holding us back from something far more beautiful? What if, instead of seeing solitude as something to fear, we saw it as a gateway to inner peace, self-reflection, and even true freedom? As we age, we may find ourselves spending more time alone. Our children may move out, friends may pass, and we may no longer be as active as we once were. In these moments, loneliness can feel overwhelming, but from a Buddhist perspective, this solitude can be a deeply transformative experience. It can offer us the space to connect with our inner selves, to redefine our sense of community, and to find joy in the simplicity of being. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into this Buddhist perspective on aging, living alone, and how we can redefine our relationships, not just with others, but with ourselves. This journey may shift how you view aging, friendships, and the quiet moments that come with it. So, stay with me, because what we explore here today might just change how you approach the next chapter of your life. Make sure to watch until the end, as we'll uncover insights that could help you embrace aging with grace, find peace in solitude, and build meaningful connections that enrich your life. 1. The shift in priorities as we age. As the years go by, something subtle yet profound begins to shift within us. The things that once seemed so important, the constant need for companionship, approval, and social engagement, gradually fade into the background. When we are young, friendships and relationships often revolve around external validation. We seek to be seen, heard, and affirmed by others. There's a sense of striving, a belief that our worth is tied to how many people surround us and how well we are regarded. In many ways, these connections are often about maintaining our sense of self, confirming that we exist in the eyes of others. But as we age, the Buddhist perspective offers a powerful shift in how we view the world. It teaches us that the self is impermanent, and the identities we cling to are just constructs of the ego. These illusions of permanence, of who we think we are or who others think we should be, become less important. We start to realize that fulfillment doesn't come from the number of people around us, or from how many events we attend. It comes from how deeply we can sit in stillness with ourselves, how much we can embrace the present moment without the need to fill it with external noise. With age, the pressure to constantly prove ourselves, to maintain appearances, or to be constantly engaged starts to soften. Instead, we begin to appreciate the quiet moments, the simple joys that were often overlooked before. There is an understated beauty in the sound of the wind rustling through trees, the scent of a blooming flower, or the serene stillness of a quiet morning. We start to find peace in solitude, and the weight of a favorite book in our hands or the comfort of our own thoughts becomes more meaningful. It's in these moments of simplicity that we often find the deepest connection. Not with others, but with ourselves. The need for validation diminishes, and we are left with a profound sense of contentment, the joy of simply being, without the distractions of constant social engagement, becomes enough. Aging, in this sense, is not a process of losing something, but of rediscovering something far more lasting, an inner peace and connection to the world that is both profound and simple. 2. The freedom of self-reliance. Let me ask you this: when was the last time you truly sat in peace, without the noise of others around you? In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly surrounded by distractions, opinions, and the pressures of social interaction. Yet, Buddhism teaches us that true freedom lies in self-reliance, a path where we learn to find peace and contentment within ourselves. The Buddha himself walked away from his wealth, family, and palace, seeking enlightenment in solitude. Why did he do this? Because he understood that attachment leads to suffering, and the key to true freedom lies in releasing our dependence on external validation. When we are younger, we often seek validation from others. We try to fit into molds created by society, measuring our worth by how well we meet expectations or how much we are admired by those around us. Our relationships, our success, and our identities are often shaped by the opinions and judgments of others. But as we grow older, there is a shift. With age comes the wisdom to let go of these external expectations. We start to understand that our true worth isn't dependent on what others think or how well we conform to societal standards. Instead, we realize that self-reliance is not about rejecting relationships or withdrawing from the world. It's about shedding the need to please others and becoming more aligned with our authentic selves. Self-reliance doesn't mean we become isolated or detached from the world. It simply means we no longer feel the pressure to act, speak, or be a certain way in order to gain approval. Instead, we engage with others when we choose to, not because we feel obligated. We are no longer driven by the need to fill every silence with chatter or to constantly seek the affirmation of others. Our relationships become more genuine because they are born from a place of freedom rather than necessity. With this freedom comes a deeper sense of peace. When we no longer seek validation, we are free to enjoy our lives for what they are, not for how others perceive them. There is a profound sense of liberation in knowing that we are enough, just as we are, and that our worth is not determined by the approval of others. This kind of self-reliance brings us closer to the kind of inner peace that allows us to embrace life with a calm, open heart. As we age, this journey of self-reliance becomes not just a path to freedom, but a path to deep, lasting happiness. 3. Quality over quantity in relationships. As we age, we begin to realize something profound about relationships. It's not the number of friends we have, but the depth of the connections we share. In the earlier stages of life, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that the more friends we have, the more valued or successful we are. We seek validation through social events, parties, and gatherings, trying to keep up with the flow of constant interaction. But Buddhism teaches us that relationships are impermanent. People come and go, friendships fade, and even the strongest bonds can be tested by time and circumstance. What endures, however, is the quality of the relationships we cultivate, the depth of our connections, the authenticity of the time we spend with others, and the shared moments of vulnerability. These are what truly matter in the long run. It's not the number of people in our lives, but the genuine connection we have with the few who truly matter that gives life its richness. I want to share a story with you about my dear friend David, a man in his 80s who experienced this shift firsthand. In his younger years, David felt the pressure to attend every social event, to keep up with a wide circle of acquaintances, and to maintain a busy social calendar. But as he grew older, he realized that these interactions, while pleasant, often lacked depth. He no longer sought to please everyone or fill every moment with chatter. Instead, he focused on the relationships that truly brought him joy and meaning. One relationship that blossomed for David was with his daughter. As the years passed, their conversations grew more authentic. They no longer just discussed everyday matters or the trivialities of life. Their talks became richer, filled with reflections on life, dreams, and the wisdom that comes with age. They shared stories about the past and opened up about their hopes for the future. This shift, from quantity to quality, brought a new dimension to their bond, creating a connection that was deeper and more fulfilling than either of them had expected. David's experience is a powerful reminder that as we age, we can choose to prioritize the relationships that nourish us. We can focus on the people who truly understand us, who support us unconditionally, and who share in our journey. It's about quality, not quantity, the depth of the conversation, the authenticity of the bond, and the meaningful moments that shape our lives. In the end, it is these relationships that will stand the test of time, far outlasting the superficial ones that once seemed so important. 4. Embracing solitude as a teacher. You might think that solitude in old age is something to fear, a vast emptiness that leaves us feeling abandoned or disconnected. But what if I told you that solitude is not a void, but a sanctuary, a space for reflection, growth, and self-discovery? In today's world, we are often taught that being alone equates to being lonely. But Buddhism offers a radically different perspective. It teaches us that when we step away from the noise and distractions of life, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of who we truly are. In fact, the Buddha himself meditated in solitude to attain enlightenment, and many spiritual seekers throughout history have found their deepest insights in silence. When we think of solitude, we often picture an empty room or a solitary walk, and it can seem daunting. The fear of being alone, of facing the silence, can overwhelm us. But this solitude, when embraced, becomes a gift, a powerful teacher. It's in these quiet moments that we are able to reflect on our lives, to process the events that have shaped us, and to come to terms with our past. Solitude provides the space to accept the things we cannot change, to let go of regrets, and to heal old wounds. In those moments of stillness, something profound happens. We stop looking for answers outside ourselves and begin to look within. It is here, in this silence, that we find the truth, that we are whole. Even when alone, there is a deep, comforting realization that we don't need anyone else to complete us. We are enough, just as we are. Solitude offers us the opportunity to connect with our own essence, to understand ourselves more deeply, and to find a peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. This quiet time allows us to shed the layers of societal expectation and the noise of everyday life. We can simply be. It is in these moments that we reconnect with the simplicity and beauty of life itself. Solitude becomes a space of renewal, where we can grow spiritually and emotionally, and rediscover our inner strength. Far from being something to fear, solitude becomes a companion that nurtures our journey towards self-realization and peace. The legacy of wisdom and community. As we grow older, our focus often shifts toward family and community. But this shift is not about dependence or needing others to fulfill us. Instead, it represents a deep and beautiful opportunity to pass on the wisdom we've gathered over the years, to guide those who come after us, and to leave a legacy that extends beyond our own lifetime. Our lives have been shaped by countless experiences, lessons, and reflections, and as we age, we have the unique chance to share that wealth of knowledge with others. It's through our wisdom, our actions, and our generosity that we shape a legacy that will endure long after we are gone. True connection, as Buddhism teaches, is not about accumulating a large number of relationships, nor is it about social status or approval. True connection is about being present. It's about the quality of the moments we share with others, whether in a quiet conversation, a shared glance, or an act of kindness. Buddhism invites us to understand that real connection happens when we are fully engaged in the moment, free of distractions or the need for validation. These moments of genuine presence, when shared with others, become the building blocks of meaningful relationships. As we age, we may not have the same social circles or the constant flurry of activities that we once did. But in these quieter years, we gain the ability to appreciate the depth of the relationships we've nurtured. We may find that the time spent with a loved one, or the wisdom shared with a younger generation, holds far more value than the busy social schedules of our earlier years. These moments carry weight because they are sincere, meaningful, and rooted in real understanding. Our legacy, therefore, is not found in the number of people we know or the accolades we receive, but in the quality of the connections we cultivate and the lasting impact we have on others. It is the wisdom we pass on, the love we share, and the way we make others feel seen, heard, and valued that shapes the true legacy we leave behind. Through presence and genuine connection, we transcend the limitations of time, creating bonds that echo beyond our years. So, what's the takeaway here? Living joyfully alone is not about feeling lonely or isolated. It's about embracing solitude as a profound path to self-discovery, authenticity, and inner peace. As we grow older, we may find ourselves spending more time alone, and for many, this can feel intimidating or even unsettling at first. However, what if we could see it as an opportunity to connect with ourselves in a way we never have before? To embrace the stillness, the silence, and the space to reflect on who we truly are, without the distractions of the outside world? True fulfillment, as we often discover with age, doesn't come from the external validation of others, whether it's through social media, crowded events, or a constant need to be surrounded by people. Instead, it comes from within. It is in those quiet moments of solitude that we can hear our own thoughts, explore our passions, and rediscover the joy of simply being. The moments when we are alone don't have to be filled with sadness or emptiness. They can be moments of profound connection to our true selves, allowing us to live with intention, clarity, and grace. As we age, we also have the unique opportunity to redefine what connection truly means. It's no longer about accumulating a large circle of acquaintances or keeping up with every social trend. Instead, it's about the depth of our connections, whether it's with the people closest to us, or even with ourselves. It's about how deeply we engage with life and the world around us, how present we are in the moment, and how much we can truly experience the richness of the world, even in our solitude. I hope this video has inspired you to see aging, solitude, and relationships from a new perspective. It's a reminder that the greatest joy doesn't lie in the number of people around us or in the busyness of our lives, but in how authentically we engage with ourselves and the world. Remember, your own company is beautiful, and it's a treasure worth embracing. So, stay present, stay authentic, and allow yourself to enjoy the peace that comes from being alone, knowing that you are never truly alone. If you found this perspective helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights on how to live a meaningful, joyful life as we age. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.